What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We've got some more NBA plays. We're going to talk about the games, then we're going to talk about some player props for each one of these games. So make sure you guys do stick around to the end to get all of the plays. Looking at our free picks from yesterday, we ended up 3-1 on the day, so not too bad. The only one that missed was our man Jimmy Butler. We had him over 24.5 PRA. What happened? They ended up getting blown out by 30 points in the third quarter. So they didn't even play. The starters for Golden State played like 2 or 3 minutes. Maybe a little more than that. That's just exaggerating a bit there. But they played a few minutes in the third, got pulled early in the third, didn't come back for the rest of the game. I mean, it was brutal. It was not close. I had the Golden State spread last night plus 7.5. I told you guys I was going to take that. That one did miss. That was the only money line that I played yesterday that missed. So we'll go over all that in just a minute. I do have to pick a winner from yesterday's video to win a free month of our VIP. So if you're new to the channel, I do this in every single video. First of all, welcome to the channel. Appreciate you guys watching. I do pick a random winner in the comments every single day if this video gets 250 likes. So make sure you guys drop a like on the video, drop a comment. You have to be a subscriber to win. You will get a free month of our VIP. And I'm going to go ahead and pick our winner from yesterday. So the winner from yesterday's video, let's go ahead and looks like they fixed their website finally, so it's actually going to look like it's supposed to. But we got Jesus Unzueta, who said like, comment, and sub. Well, I really do appreciate it, man. Send me a message on Discord. I will get you added for that free month of VIP. And yeah, once again, I appreciate every single one of you guys watching and commenting. It really does help a lot, and I'm super thankful. I'm looking at some of our wins from yesterday, so I'm going to show you my money lines. I'm going to show you some of the slips we gave for free. So obviously, we played this slip for free. We had our man MPJ Porter over 19.5 points. I had him in quite a few slips. I had him in a couple of slips, actually. Had him once in Butler, once with Butler, which I know we locked it in. I had him in this one. Then I had him in a 4-man prize pick slip. So for the guys who aren't in the Discord that used to be in there all the time, I am now doing 4-pick prize pick slips because I've had some people request it. Some people just like playing some higher payout slips. So these are 5 to 10x slips. Well, I'll be giving at least one every single day. I'm gonna start trying to do a couple of them. Just try to get. I know some of these people like to, or some of you guys like to have higher wins. So I'm gonna start playing some more of those as well instead of just double ups. But anyways, Towns and Porter cashed us out. I played Sixers money line. I put $200 on it, and I do believe Thunder Pick actually limited me now. I tried to make a slip earlier for $500, and it limited me to $198. So, not sure what's going on with that. Maybe it was just a combination of plays I used for this slip, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. So, played the Sixers money line. I took Sabonis, Jokic, and Murray last night for a game stack for the final game. Put $250 on it to win $487. We had this nice little DeRozan with Aaron Gordon play. It was a nice little double up. I took the Nuggets and the Knicks on a parlay. I told you guys this from the video. I was going to run Knicks with Nuggets. I did. I put $250 on them. We won almost $400 on that one. Here's our taco plays. Both tacos ended up cashing. If you're wondering, yes, I can play $100 on tacos because I am Prizepicks VIP. I am not partnered with Prizepicks. I do not have an affiliate code with Prizepicks. What I'm saying is I have played so much money on Prizepicks in the past. They reached out to me personally through email and said, hey, man, we'd like to have you part of our VIP program where you bet so much. Would you be interested? I said yes, and they gave me the ability to play more on discounted lines. So pretty sure their whole goal is to try to win more money off of me. But anyways, you can see $100 to win $200 on both of those. Did have Obi topping with Brown right here, points, 100 for 245. Had a nice little 4-man we dropped. I flexed this one. It was 150 to win 900. It ended up being a 3-man flex, so it profited. We cashed it for profit, but Wagner right here did end up with 18.6 fantasy score. So that one ended up selling our $900 play, which sucks. And then we had a couple more from Sleeper and Underdog. So overall, yesterday was a very, very good day. I will say, if Butler would have cashed, I'm pretty sure we swept every single slip yesterday if Butler cashed. So Butler selling was pretty devastating in terms of what it could have been. But it is what it is, guys. If you want to be a part of our Discord link is down in the description. If you want to get every single pick that I personally play, you can join our WAP. Link to the WAP is down in the description as well. $25 a month, but you can use code NBA right now to get 20% off. This code will not be active very long. I am going to be updating codes here shortly, so make sure you guys are signing up if you plan on it as soon as possible. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and jump into some of these free picks. Let's talk about these games, and let's get everything set up. Let me make sure I have everything clear on all my platforms. I do. All right. Talk about the first game we have on the slate. So the first game that we have is going to be the Bucks taking on the Hornets in Charlotte. Charlotte right now is plus 194 underdogs. 5.5 point spread with a 231.5 point total. Majority of the money right now is on the Bucks. 95 and 98% of the money. Now, you guys know how I feel about monies. Yeah, I said monies. I don't know why, but anyways, you guys know how I feel about games where the money is majorly on one side. It makes me not want to play that team. Like even if I thought the Bucks would win, now I'm scared to take Bucks money line just because 95 and 98% of the public is on this team. So if calls were going to be made, it would be for this game. You know what I'm saying? So looking at this lineup right now, we have to pay attention. Giannis is questionable. Giannis is questionable a lot lately due to some knee issues, but he's probably going to play. If he sits, this game becomes very competitive. It could potentially be competitive anyways. The Hornets have been struggling. They almost beat the Lakers the other night. And the Lakers have been playing pretty decent. Now, I know the Lakers have kind of a beat-up team too, but Charlotte's still missing LaMelo Ball. They're missing Brandon Miller. You got a lot of questionables. Colin Sexton's probable. KJ Simpson's probable. Peterson's questionable. Josh Green's obviously out. You got Pat Connaughton, who's probable. So we got a lot of players who are out or probable potential sitting for this Charlotte offense or team. So you guys know how I feel about Knuppel, man. Knuppel has been completely smashing every single game for me. I have got to run Knuppel again today. So you're going to see a Knuppel play once again. I feel like he's good for about any prop, man, right now. He's just been a freaking wagon, and I'm going to keep playing him until he sells me. He's going to have to sell me a couple times to get me off of him as long as LaMelo and Brandon Miller are still missing. So this game's going to be tough for me to take a sportsbook bet on this one. If I was going to run a play, I'd have to take Charlotte at plus 200 just because of all the money on Milwaukee. Even though if Giannis plays, the Bucks should win this game. So that's just my personal opinion. It's hard for me to want to put money on the Bucks when 95 and 98% of the money's on the Bucks. So I'll probably end up fading that one. The next game we have is going to be the Bulls taking on the Pistons. Detroit minus 129 odds at home, minus 2.5 on the spread, and a 235.5 total. Right now, 56% of the money's on the Pistons, 57% of the money on Pistons covering the spread, and then 66% of the money is on the over on this total. Now, I like the money being on the Pistons side of things because I have the Bulls winning this game. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. So right now, the Pistons are on a 7-game win streak. The Pistons have been one of the most dominant teams in the NBA so far this season. The Bulls on a 3-game loss streak. They just lost at home versus the Spurs. I had the Spurs winning this game. This game was very, very sweaty for me, and Josh Giddey was playing this game. Josh Giddey is still questionable, or Josh Giddey was sitting this game, Josh Giddey is questionable again today. He could end up playing. If he doesn't play, then yes, this is going to be a tougher game for the Bulls. But the Bulls kept it close with the Spurs, and the Spurs are not a pushover team. The Spurs are good, and that was without Giddey. Now, you might be, why would you play the Pistons? Play them against the Pistons. The Pistons are so good. Well, the Pistons are missing a lot too, man. Jalen Duren's probable, so Jalen Duren, you might as well say he's going to play. Cade Cunningham is questionable. They're missing Tobias Harris. Jaden Ivey's still out. Sasser's out. Isaiah Stewart is doubtful, and they're missing Ulcer Thompson. So they have a potential to miss Cade and Ulcer right now with Tobias Harris out. They're missing a lot of players. Probably Isaiah Stewart as well. So you got Jalen Duren, and if Cade sits, man, that's tough, man. That's going to be tough for this team. So best case scenario for a Bulls money line play is you lock them at 127, Giddey plays, and Cunningham sits. If that happens, then I think the Bulls have a very good chance at winning this game. And I think even if Giddey sits and Cunningham both sit, they have a good chance at winning this game. If Cunningham plays and Giddey sits, it gets a little bit more sweaty, and Pistons are probably going to be favored still. But I think there's a chance right now for the Bulls at plus money to get some value, and that's why I'm running them. Fully healthy team, I like the Pistons team better. I'm going to be honest with you. This Pistons team has been freaking dominant, but they're on a 7-game win streak. They are at home. Can that win streak be ended today by the Bulls? I think there's some potential here. The Bulls have not played bad this season so far. I got to take a chance on them at plus money. So in terms of full healthy teams, I like Detroit. In terms of this game, I'm going to run with Chicago at plus money for this one. So if you don't agree with any of these plays, fade them, guys, for real. I've been playing a lot of plus money plays. I'm up over $1,000 on running $200 slips on ThunderPick in the last week. So, and a lot of those have been plus money. So let's continue to keep this streak. Hopefully, money lines have been absolutely smashing it. Even on the days player props have been rough, money lines have been there. So let's hope we can keep this luck streak going or whatever it is. But I like the Bulls in this matchup. Next one we have is the Magic versus the Knicks. Knicks are on a back-to-back. The Magic are the most untrustworthy team for me. I cannot pick the Magic. I've had them, I'm not going to say money line wise, but player prop wise, the Magic bite me in the butt every single time. I'm going to give them one more chance today, but this is probably going to be my last time playing the Magic if I get sold again. So, anyways, we got the Knicks minus 175 favorites at home, minus 4.5 spread, 226.5 total. Majority of the money's on the Knicks. You got 81% and 87% of the money, with 58% of the money on the over on this total. If you look at these two teams, the Knicks are coming off of a win versus Memphis. They're on a 5-game win streak. They're going against the team who just beat Portland but lost to Boston the game before that. So, Right now, the Magic are on like a little win-loss pattern going on right now. If you continue this pattern, they are in a loss. I don't look at patterns and stuff like this. That's not something that I would recommend doing, especially if you're just for sport betting wise. But just saying, if you look at it that way, then yes, they are due for a loss in quotes. But Knicks are on a back-to-back, man. That's the only thing that I really have to say about this game. The Knicks have looked pretty freaking strong. Mitchell Robinson's questionable again. The Towns has been stepping it up. He was told to be more aggressive. Dude's been a beast. I actually like Towns today, so I don't have him as a free pick, but Towns could be a play that end up playing tonight. I'm not real sure about that. Towns is one of those hit-or-miss players. I saw a comment yesterday saying he gets in a lot of foul trouble. Yes, he does get in a lot of foul trouble, but there has been times where Towns has not been in foul trouble, and his minutes are cut drastically for no reason, or reasons that are not publicly spoken. So, anyways, Towns can be a little bit of a roller coaster sometimes. This game's tough for me to call. As of right now, I don't want to run Knicks money line. I think the Knicks are the better team. I like the Knicks in this matchup. I think they could get a win on a back-to-back, but they played tough yesterday. It was a tough game. It wasn't easy. Memphis wasn't a pushover yesterday, so we'll see what happens. I'm not going to put any money on this game. If I had to pick a winner, I'm probably just going to roll with the Knicks, but the Magic realistically do have a chance to come in New York tonight and get a dub because the Magic are not a bad team either. So next game I have is going to be the Celtics taking on the Grizzlies. Both of these teams are on a back-to-back. Boston minus 230 favorites, 6.5-point spread with a 229.5 total. Right now, 83% of the money is on the Celtics, 75% of the money Celtics covering the spread, and then 79% of the money on the under on this total. So people see this back-to-back, and they're thinking, yeah, it's going to be a low-scoring game. Both these teams took L's yesterday. I had Philly money line. You guys saw that. We took Philly to beat the Celtics. It happened. It was a very close game. Then we have Memphis getting beat by the Knicks. I had the Knicks winning yesterday. That one went well for me. Celtics got beat. Memphis got beat by 13 by the Knicks. Looking at this team, you got some injuries, not a whole lot of injuries we need to worry about. Zach Edey is now doubtful. He's been sitting every single game this season, so you do have some potential for him to play. Not that I think he's going to get big minutes or anything, but anyway, he is doubtful. The chances are there, though. The other Boston side of thing, all we have is Jason Tatum missing. So Tatum's obviously out for the rest of the season. This Boston team's actually played pretty well without Tatum. They do have a losing record right now, but they had a spot here where they were on a 3-game win streak. So this is a tough game for me to call. In Boston, I kind of want to run the Celtics, I'm going to be honest with you, but I'm probably not going to touch this in terms of money. Celtics minus 200, definitely not there. I definitely take Memphis for plus 225 before I took Celtics at minus 230, but I do think the Celtics end up winning this game. That's kind of where my head's at, but in terms of value and where you put your money, it's probably worth the risk for Memphis because there's a good chance, or this one's almost like a coin flip to me. So I could see Memphis getting this dub tonight, and then if you get it for plus 225, you got some really good value there. So you guys can do what you want on this one. This one's going to be a no play for me for the most part as well. Next game we have is going to be the Cavs versus the Heat. This slate's ugly, guys. I'm just going to throw it out there. We got the Cavs who are resting about every starter they have, and we'll talk about that in a second. But Miami minus 186 favorites at home, a 6.5-point spread with a 238.5 total. Right now, this is almost a split in terms of where the money's at. 62% is on Miami, 64% on them covering the spread, and then 81% on the under on the total. Taking a look at these two teams, the Cavs have been a beast so far this season. Once again, they look good, obviously. 64% win out of 11 games. They only have 4 losses. They did just come off of a loss versus the Heat in a very, very close game. This sold a parlay for me. I had the Cavs and somebody else. I think it was the Cavs and I can't remember. I had the Cavs and somebody on a parlay, and the other one cashed. All I needed was Miami to cash this, or the Heat or Cleveland to cash this, and they ended up getting beat. So the Heat are on a 3-game win streak. Heat are pretty beat up. Let's take a look at this Heat first. They're missing Bam, they're missing Tyler Hero, and they're missing our man Rozier, which I'll say again behind bars. Looking at the Cleveland side of things, they got Garland out, left toe issue. Donovan Mitchell's out for rest. Evan Mobley out for rest. Strauss is obviously still out, and then you got Jalen Tyson, who is out as well. So looking at this team, you're starting 5. Jared Allen is pretty much that guy. DeAndre Hunter, you got Lonzo Ball. You got some players that could potentially step it up, a lot of threes. Miami has a very weak 3-point defense. They give up a lot of threes so far this season, so we'll see how that goes. You got some 3-point shooters we could take in this one. For me, I'm leaning Jared Allen. He's the only one that I really see here that I know is going to get big minutes and should probably step it up as a starter. DeAndre Hunter's another one like that, but as of right now, Jared Allen's the one I'm leaning towards. If you're looking at the Miami side of things, you got Davion Mitchell, you got Norman Powell, and you got Wiggins. I'm kind of leaning towards Powell on this game to have a good game if you want to take Norman Powell, but this game should be close, man. I can't take either team on this one either, to be honest with you. I'm having to fade some of these money lines, and I'm strategically trying to pick my money lines, guys. I don't just run one for every team. If you do that every single day, you're never going to be profitable because you're not going to call every single game correctly. Some of these games that are coin flip like this with injuries, sometimes you just got to fade them, man. You just got to fade them. This game, Cavs-Miami, Cavs are plus 200 underdogs, man. I mean, I know they're missing every starter, but they have a chance to win, obviously. They just got beat by Miami, though, and Miami playing pretty much the same lineup they had that beat the Cavs with their fully healthy team. So, could end up being a trap. Do I think Miami beats Cleveland? They probably beat them one of every 5 games, in my opinion, fully healthy versus fully healthy. So I think that could have been just one of those fluke games where they beat Cleveland, but maybe not, man. Maybe Miami's not looking bad this season. They're 7-4, and that's even with injury. Sometimes they play better without their starters than they do with the starters. So for me, if I had to pick one, I'm going to run with Miami. I got to run with the Heat on this one. They just beat the same Cavs team. They're playing at home again, and it's hard for me not to take them here, but this game could end up going either way, in my opinion. Next game we have is going to be the Rockets taking on the Wizards. 1-10 Wizards versus the 6-3 Rockets. Rockets are minus 1,000. 16.5 point spread. There's no point even looking at this game, guys. If it stays competitive, it's good for player props. Nobody's taking the Rockets minus 1,000. If you do, then it's honestly just a dumb bet. Spread at 16.5, definitely not taking that either. Washington gets blown out about every single game. The only play on this that you could take would be a total play or Washington plus 1,000. I mean, plus 1,000, $100 wins you $1,000. That's a 10x to take Washington to get an upset. You might see me do that just for fun. Like, honestly, I might put $100 on them just for fun. So, anyways, that option is there. Plus 1,000 odds is absolutely crazy. If you want to take it, you can. I'm not touching either team on this one. Total, I'm probably not even going to touch either because this could end up being a big blowout. Second string could come in and play a lot, and you just never know with totals like that either. Next game we have is the Warriors taking on the Spurs in San Antonio. So the Spurs are right now minus 173 favorites, 4.5 point spread with a 230 point total. The Warriors just got blown out. Starters really aren't going to be that tired today. I mean, yeah, they played yesterday, but Butler played 22 minutes. I mean, he plays that in about the first half most games. So, like I said, they didn't play very many minutes last night. Looking at the money right now, 52% of the money is on the Spurs. It's kind of a 50-50 split. You got 58% of the money is on the Spurs to cover the spread, and then 93% of the money on the over on this total. If you look at the Spurs, they're on a 3-game win streak. They beat the Bulls, they beat the Pelicans, and they beat the Rockets in 3 straight games. Playing at home, not on a back-to-back. This could be another shot for the Spurs. For me, in this game, the Spurs are minus 170 right now, 172. No injuries on the Golden State side of things other than Melton. Melton is out. If you look at the Spurs side of things, they got Dylan Harper who's out, so nothing really we need to pay attention to here. Fox is playing him once again for the Spurs. I think Fox is going to have a good season so far this year. I'm going to run with the Spurs on this one, man, just because Golden State is on a back-to-back. This game could go either way as well. Like I said, Golden State's not a bad team, man, when they're fully healthy. They are actually a very good team, and that's why I thought that they could cover the spread against OKC last night with Butler playing. But in terms of player props, I like Fox in this game. I like Jimmy Butler in this game. I like Wembanyama. Wemby's lines are obviously extremely high, but you can find some value on some of these players. Fox and Butler are kind of two of my favorite players in this game in terms of player props, but you guys are more than welcome to do what you want with that information. But for me, I'm going to run with the Spurs. I'll probably put money on the Spurs on this one, and roll with that. Next one we have is going to be the Trailblazers versus the Pelicans. This is probably going to be a gold mine for player props if the game stays close. The majority of the money is on the Trailblazers. I'm taking the Trailblazers. I'm playing them in a parlay, so I got the Trailblazers winning. I'm not going to go over players on this one because I've been rambling for almost 20 minutes already, so I'm going to kind of speed this process up a little bit. But running with the Trailblazers on this, minus 295. If you play it with another strong favorite, you can almost get plus money. So it's up to you guys what you want to do with that. I like Trailblazers to win. This game we got the Suns versus the Mavericks. It's going to be another good game for player props. This game kind of coin flip to me. It really just depends on if Anthony Davis plays. So right now you got Jalen Green obviously out. Questionable AD. I'll be waiting on this one. If AD and Lively play, I will be running Mavericks money line. So it's up to you guys what you want to do. Phoenix is our favorite right now on the road versus Dallas. The Suns team is, they're 6-5, but they're really not that strong of a team. Let's be honest, and not in my opinion, anyway. So don't think that they're a powerhouse or anything that the Mavericks need to be super worried about if AD plays. If AD plays, I got Dallas winning. Next game, we got OKC versus the Lakers. Lakers are 8-3 right now. OKC 11-1. OKC on a back-to-back. I mean, they played their starters longer than Golden State played them yesterday. I'm probably going to run with OKC. Lakers missing LeBron still. Doncic probably has a good game, let's be honest. I know this OKC defense is tough. OKC does have some injuries here, so you got to take a look at some of these injuries. Dort's questionable. Wiggins is questionable. Jalen Williams is doubtful. If Wiggins and Dort both sit, then this becomes a game where maybe the Lakers can pull out a dub. But after seeing what I did last night with Golden State, I thought Golden State would put out the dub. I'm not going to touch the Lakers on this one, even if they're plus 250. Maybe if I run a long shot parlay or something with 2 or 3 plus money plays, I might do that for like plus 2,000 or 3,000 odds, something. But it's not going to be like a straight bet for the Lakers for me. So I'm going to be fading this one the majority of the time just because of that blowout from yesterday. Kind of scares me. Next game we have Hawks versus the Kings. Kings on our back-to-back. Hawks are not on a back-to-back. I'm pretty sure they're still missing Trae Young. Jalen Johnson's not on the injury news. It's going to be a tough game, man. I think Sabonis has a good game in this one. Sabonis, Jalen Johnson are 2 players you could take from this one. I'm not going to bet on this one, I don't think. If I did, I'd probably end up running probably run the Hawks money line just because the Kings did have was a pretty close game versus the Nuggets last night, 108-122. Close enough for them to play their normal minutes. So anyways, I fell asleep during this game, so I don't know exactly how when starters and stuff got pulled. But anyways, I like Atlanta in this one. Minus 150 is not too bad. And then you got Nuggets versus the Clippers. I don't trust the Clippers for anything. I'm just going to take the Nuggets. That being said, let's go ahead and jump into some player props, guys. And let's go ahead and hopefully cash some slips. So before I say anything, I do want to say if you want a free month of our VIP, you can sign up for any partnered app down in the description. You can get up to 8 full months for free. And yeah, just let me know in Discord if you sign up for any of those, and we'll get you guys added for that free month. All right, so the first player prop that I have for today, I've already told you guys who I'm taking. I'm taking our man Knoepel. We're taking our boy Knoepel. What? I have to refresh this. It's been doing this to me all morning, but I can come over here to this and like select the player from the lineup, for example, Knoepel, and it'll go straight to it. So we're going to try this one more time. There we go. All right, now I can go back to my game settings and then have the player prop separate like I like it. All right, so PRA, his PRA line sitting at 27.5. You can get him down to 24.5 for a pretty decent payout if you play it with a boost on parlay play, and you can get a nice little slip with Knoepel at 24.5. Knoepel, if you look at his last 5, now, I'm not a last 5 warrior. People are going to see this, and they're probably going to spam the over on Knoepel. So a lot of times when you see last 5s like this, it ends up being a regression game for that player for whatever reason. Now, Knoepel's averaging almost 40 PRA in his last 4 games with both LaMelo and Brandon Miller out. Obviously, Miller and LaMelo are out once again. We can see this right here. Neither of them are going to play. There's not questionable at all. They're both sitting this game as of right now. So then obviously things can change. But if you're averaging 40 PRA almost per game with those 2 players gone, your minutes are sitting at almost 40 minutes a game in those 4 games. You're playing close games. You're going against a team that you should be able to keep it close. You're playing at home. Everything points in the direction for our man Knoepel to cash now. If you look at Knoepel's field goal attempts, he's averaging 12.6 field goal attempts on the season. If you look at his last 4 games, he averaged almost 20 per game in these 3, and then had a regression game where he only shot 11 shots. So Knoepel, his last game, scored 19 points. You can see right here, 19 points, and only shot 11 shots. Now, if he would have shot 20 shots like he had been, you're looking at a dude who would have dropped almost 50 PRA that game. So remember that. Knoepel's been stepping it up, man. You can take Knoepel as a hit for his original line if you want. You can take his points. You can take his PRA. You can take his RA. I like pretty much every prop for Knoepel in this matchup. 9.5 RA at 1.68x. You can get PRA at a 1.4x or 27.5 for a 1.8x if you want to play it this way. I am going to be playing a 4-man slip on Prizepicks. It's probably going to consist of Knoepel with 27.5 PRA, his original line. So that's why I'm going to run him at 1.44x today on this slip for parlay play. Code Fantasy Aces on parlay play if you guys do want to get a free month of VIP, just throwing it out there. But I like Knoepel on this one. Not really much else to say about that. We can look at the scoring charts for Knoepel. You got a pretty tough matchup. He does shoot a lot of 3-pointers, 44 or looks like a 66% of his shots are from behind the 3-point line. He does shoot 32% in the paint. So he's got a tough matchup versus Bucks. This doesn't really worry me too much. Shot charts are, especially 3-point shot charts, you got to take with a grain of salt, because if he has a bad, or if players have bad 3-point games versus the Bucks, it's going to make this look a lot better. So, anyways, I like Knuppel on this one. If you don't like him, fade him. If you do, then obviously lock him in. The next play that I have is going to be for our man Jared Allen. Told you guys I like Jared Allen for Cleveland today. He's pretty much the only starter other than DeAndre Hunter who's going to be playing today. I like our man Jared Allen for points. His points line is 14.5 or 16.5. He's going to be needed to score, in my opinion, today. Like I said, they have a lot of three-point shooters that could come out here and shoot some threes. But if you look at Miami's points defense, 22nd in the league. Very fast-paced team. Give up 120 points per game. To the center position, they give up almost 18 points per game, 11th in the league. They do have Ware starting at center today versus Jared Allen, so we got a pretty decent matchup in my opinion. If you look at head-to-head data, yes, Jared Allen has only cashed this line 1 of 8 games versus the Heat, but you got to also look at this. We can go Garland, Mitchell, and Mobley. 2 games last season did all 3 of them sit and Jared Allen play. And Jared Allen played 8 minutes and then 0.7 minutes. So he pretty much didn't play, or 15 minutes and 0.7 minutes. So pretty much didn't play anything. That was versus the Pacers. I'm expecting a good game out of him today, and I think he's going to come out here trying to get that win and get some revenge on the Heat for beating them last game. If you look at last game, he had 14 points versus the Heat, and that was with all the starters. So 14 points back-to-back games so far versus the Heat. He can give us 15 points. I'm taking a risk on it. If you don't like it, obviously fade it, but I do like this play. So it's going to be for our man Jared Allen, 14.5 points. And honestly, this payout's not going to be bad. So 2.16x, which we can lock in right here. So 250 wins us 540. Let's lock it in. So if I was going to play a 4-man slip, if we wanted to play the original lines on Prizepicks, we could do it this way. You could take Knuppel, PRA. Let's find that. Where's Knuppel? There he is. 27.5 PRA. We can go to points. We can just type in Allen, Jared Allen. We took him at 14.5. And we can see what the regular payout for this slip would end up being. So that's what I got locked in so far. Come over here to track picks. You guys can see we got Jared Allen, Knuppel locked in already. So next line that we're going to have is going to be for our man Franz Wagner. This is a boosted line that I saw. We played him last time at 19.5. He hooked us. We're getting good value at 17.5 points for our man Wagner. So looking at Wagner, man, he's one of those guys who can drop 20 points almost every game. We got unlucky the last game. Let's talk about it. So 17.5 points. He's cashed in 10 of 11 games on the season. He scored 19 his last game. Let's take a look at his field goal attempts. Dude averages 15.5 field goal attempts and shot 10 his last game. So he shot 50% less than his average in the last game that we played him at 19.5 points, and he still hooked us. If he took 5 more shots, he's hitting one of those 5 shots 99% of the time. So we got to understand, we got unlucky that he chalked this. He got hit in the nose as well at the beginning of the game, so he ended up with a nosebleed and sat some of the first quarter that he normally wouldn't, which could have been a potential. Maybe, I don't know, maybe his nose was hurting. Maybe it was giving him some issues. I don't know. But I know 17.5 points for Wagner in a game where the Knicks could potentially win is tough. He had 30 points his last game versus the Knicks. That was last season, back in last December. But if you look at the Knicks versus this forward position, it's kind of middle of the pack in terms of where they allow their points. We can come over here to Props Madness. We can pull up the scoring chart for this as well. Pull up Orlando versus the Knicks. Pull up our man Franz Wagner, and let's take a look at where he shoots. So you got a pretty good matchup here. Wagner shoots, what is this? 28% of his shots from behind the three-point line, which I said take with a grain of salt. He shoots 68% in the paint and then 4% mid-range. Tough matchup in the paint. Good matchup from behind the arc. So it really just depends on how you want to look at that, guys. I take it with a grain of salt anyways. 18 points is not that many for Franz Wagner. I am going to be risking it with him again if you don't want to take it, because it's the same concept with Amon Thompson. We took Amon Thompson at 14.5 points 2 games in a row. He hooked us at 14 points both games, and I thought he was going to cash. So if you want to fade our man Wagner in this one at 17.5 because he just hooked us, you can do that. I'm not going to blame you at all. But for me, I got to run this line. This line's too good a value to not play. He's going to cash it. You guys saw 10 of 11 games, so majority of the time he's going to cash this line. Who am I going to pair him with? You guys are going to hate me. I'm running Jimmy Butler, man. You got Butler versus the Kings. Butler for 14.5 points is good majority of games. Now, so far this season, he's cashed at 8 of 11 games. Butler is averaging 11 field goal attempts per game. He shot 3 shots versus OKC. Blowout loss. He played 22 minutes. They shouldn't be too tired today in terms of playing. Obviously, they're on the road. They're traveling. They're going to be tired from traveling, things like that. But 12 points with 3 shot attempts, averaging 7.1 field goal or free throws per game. So he is getting some free throw attempts. He is going against a team that gives up decent amount of points to the forward position. If you look at the guard position, they have a pretty decent defense versus the shooting guard, where we could end up seeing Butler play guard, post playing, whatever. Anyways, I like Butler in the matchup regardless, dude. He's averaging 18 points per game. He's dropping over 20 in a lot of these games. Yeah, he's had a little bit of regression in his last few games for PRA, but his points line's still been there for the most part. It's not a bad matchup versus the Kings. Head-to-head, he had 28 points his last game back in April. The 2 games before that, he did go under, but he was still playing for Miami in one of those games. So Miami game, he had 8 points. Obviously, Butler with Miami, he didn't want to be there. We saw he didn't want to be there. He didn't try. So you really got to look at these last 2 games with Golden State where he had 13 points and a blowout win, first of all, 148 to 106. And then same game. I say the Kings, by the way. I meant Spurs, but anyway, I'm pretty sure I said something about the Kings like 3 times. So if I said Sacramento, then I meant the Spurs, but I'm not sure if I did or not. But regardless, man, I like this matchup for him. I think he's going to cash this out, and at 14.5 points, then I'm going to lock in our man Butler. So let's pull it up. Jimmy Butler, 14.5 points. This gives us a 1.8. This was literally a 1.97x a minute ago, so the payout has come down on this one, but I like this slip as well. I'm going to lock it in. So if we were to play these all together, first of all, you have 2 free slips right here. Jared Allen, Knuppel, Butler, Wagner. Then we're going to come over here. If you play these on Prizepicks in a 4-man, say we took Butler. We'll take Butler's regular point line at 18.5, and then we would put Wagner at we buy Wagner down to 17.5, and this will give us a 7x. So if we put, say, $100 on this slip, it will be 100 to win 700. And I honestly like this slip. Now, Butler at 18 points is a little bit more risky. Let's see if we can let's see what the payout is if we take Butler down to 14.5. Butler at 14.5 goes down to a 5.5x. To be honest, I like that better. I'm running this slip for sure. Let's see what the payout for this is on parlay play. Let's do that. Let's see if the value is better. So Butler, 14.5. Wagner, 17.5. We got Knuppel, 27.5. And then we have, who else was it? Jared Allen. Jared Allen at 14.5. That gives us a 3.89x compared to a 5.5x. Value is so much better on Prizepicks. So I'm going to play that on Prizepicks. I'm going to be locking it in. But that's what I've got for today, guys. You got our 2 slips here we can lock in. If you want to lock in a 4-man on Prizepicks, the value is way better on Prizepicks. I will be locking this in here in just a second for a 5.5x. Fade it if you want. Tail it if you want. Not bad play to have 3 goblins for a 5.5x. You can't complain with that. Knuppel should cash. He's probably going to be the sweatiest one at 27.5. But I like the matchup for him, man. As long as it's not a blowout game, he should cash us out. But that's what I got for today, guys. Hopefully we cash. Hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see y'all in tomorrow's video.